we have a guest in the studio. I would like to welcome you to Dribbz. Welcome, Dribbz.
Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, it's a pleasure to come down. It really is.
No problem. Right, I have AI'd you. I do know about you, but I was really...
That's fine.
I love finding out what AI thinks
I hope
of people.
AI has done me justice, is all I can say.
AI told me Dribbz is a UK-based multi-genre artist, primarily known for his work in hip-hop and drum and bass MC. He has been actively involved in the music scene for over 18 years, hosting raves and festivals across the UK. Dribbz is also recognised for his work in hip-hop, including his album Piece of Me and his involvement with BBC Music Introducing, and he's also an editor. Oh, you've got so much going on. An editor of a mental health section in Scene magazine. Is there anything else to add to that? Is that true?
I think that's spot on.
It is incredible.
I was quite worried then when you said about the ChatGPT. that's spot on. They've covered a lot of stuff there. There's a bit more to me than that.
Tell us about you.
Okay, right. So I've been involved within music for 20 years now. So it said 18. So
yeah.
we'll add another 2 on. So 20 years I've been involved in music now. Started originally in, dare I say it, the pirate radio scene.
Okay.
That's kind of where I came up. That was my roots.
That's fine.
You know, back then that was the thing to get your music out there.
Definitely.
But that was the only way back then. We never had Facebook and Spotify and all these kind of stuff. We barely had YouTube. It wasn't really a massive thing back then. So started off through the FM waves on the pirate. Then, because what we found was promoters would actually listen to these shows on the stations for their favourite artists, and then we'd get the bookings through that. And that would be like a Nokia 402 in the studio, and if they wanted a reload of the track to play it again, they kind of ring it twice and put the phone down.
Yeah.
There was a lot of nitty-gritty kind of tower block studios, but it was all part of the process to where I've got today.
Okay.
But now I can stand here and say that I'm 20 years deep in this music. Since lockdown, I started doing hip-hop because I'm quite a sensitive soul. I like to speak my mind, and being brought up by my mom as a single parent, she always taught me the importance of speaking my mind, and that's kind of paid off tenfold with what I do now. So yeah, I can sit here confidently now and tell you that I've got my second album out now, which is available at HMV, Pieces of Me, which actually I've got a copy for you right now. I've got a little signed copy there, look.
Wow. Thank you so much.
You treated me to a decaf bottle of Pepsi and some Maltesers.
I'm very kind.
You get treated well at Radio Tamworth. I like it. I mean, their Maltesers might be out of date, I don't know.
No, definitely not.
But I'm also a massive male mental health advocate.
Yes.
So I speak to a lot of men behind the scenes, things that I don't put out there, that are dealing with, depression, relationships. I've got no kind of qualification as in counselling qualification, but what I have got to bring to the table is life experiences.
That's
and
great.
I think that can pay off tenfold.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got my own podcast channel now, which is called Dribbz Talks, which is on YouTube now. With me having ADHD, which is another conversation in itself, I tend to go at things 100 miles an hour. So within 5 months of starting up my podcasts, I'm on to my 40th episode now.
I have been listening to some on Spotify. Yeah. Good.
Okay, all right.
I haven't listened to a full one all the way through. No. From what I heard, I was at work, so I shouldn't really have been listening to a podcast at work. So I was in the middle of trying to deal with a million different things at the same time. Mm-hmm. From what I did hear and what I absorbed, it's great. Mental health can be such a taboo subject for some people, and to be able to get people to talk openly about any worries, any stresses, any depression, anxiety, especially for men, is such a huge thing. And there is so many different things out there to help people. I don't think people realise what is out there to be able to help them and for people to talk to. And I explained to you when you arrived here and I met you outside, the building that we're in was a massive advocate for mental health, and we help so many people here. Well, not just us at Radio Tamworth, but all downstairs we've got different communities that come in, and different befriending services, homelessness.
I love that.
So it is a massive thing in Tamworth to be able to help people, because there's so many people out there struggling at the moment.
100%. See, like with Telford, there's not a massive amount. It's dire, to be honest. You've got You've got two main mental health groups within Telford, one being Primal Instincts, and they do men's talking circles, walkabouts, and they're doing fantastic things. They've just secured a premises in Telford now, which is kind of the Primal Instincts headquarters.
Wow.
So men can go there, and rather than visiting what would be a pub, they now go and there's a pool table and they can just be around like-minded men that are also struggling.
Yeah.
And another one being Breath of Life, and that is another kind of men's mental health focused group, and they're all trying to do amazing things within Telford, but these are a group of people who have been through life experiences like myself that have started these up. It's not as if it's a funded service.
Yes.
They've had to put all the hard work in themselves.
Yeah, I get
so
that.
I think what started with me is I didn't kind of just say I'm going to be a men's mental health advocate and all of a sudden people flock to me. I kind of built a base around my music to get people to almost trust me and know that it's okay to talk about their feelings. And you'll find that it's quite evidently clear with my music that, you know, I don't hold anything back when it comes to my feelings. I'm quite a sensitive soul, like I said, being brought up by my mom. You know, she taught me the importance to always speak your mind.
So what got you into doing the music that you do? Because obviously it's rap. A lot of people who have brought up in rap is it's kind of gangster rap. What made you want to do something different?
To be honest with you, like, I had a lot of struggles when I was a youth, which made me kind of, I turned to childhood trauma counselling in my later years. I mean, I'm 38, I told you I was 39, I'm 38 now. Adding another year on me, I'm 38 now. So when I was like 11, 12, a lot of stuff was going on at home. Mom was an absolute angel, but my dad, my biological father, put me through a hell of a lot. And that kind of affected me in my adult life. So as a youth, I would write down my feelings, thoughts and feelings onto paper, never to go anywhere, just I didn't store them, I just kind of wrote them down, and the minute I wrote them down, I almost felt uplifted that they'd gone, because they'd gone from this busy brain of mine onto paper. And now I guess not a lot's really changed, only the fact of I still write my thoughts and feelings down, but I put them to a beat and put them out there. And it wasn't until lockdown where people had the time to actually listen that I actually realised that I've got a niche going on here. There's something a little different that I can offer, because a lot of the rappers around my area, they'll rap about thuggery. This isn't a life I've lived, so why would I rap about it? So I definitely rap about real stuff, that's
things that mean something to you.
And it's one of the biggest compliments for me is when I go to these events that I perform at, and I'll get, I don't know, someone of an older age, and they'll say, I don't normally listen to hip hop, but your stuff has really kind of made me change my mind on that. And that's the biggest compliment to me.
Amazing.
That's huge.
Well, we're going to play a song now called Be Fine. Explain a little bit about Be Fine before we play it.
This is one of my favourites. I wrote this about 2.5 years ago. My mental state when I wrote this, I can remember being in the booth and with tears pouring down me while I was recording this song, because that is where you get your best possible content from, when you're really performing it from the heart rather than just in autopilot. And this one has quickly become a bit of an anthem around me. It's what a lot of people draw for when they ask me to perform tracks. It's always Be Fine. And I think that this one speaks to a lot of different people. I always say this to all the listeners that may have stumbled upon me today and are wondering what I'm about. If you take anything from anything that I'm saying today, have a listen to the lyrics of Be Fine, because where the lyrics that you hear is exactly the headspace that I was in. And I'm quite proud to say now, after months of childhood trauma counselling, that I can stand here and be proud of that. And I'm almost, I say fine, it's you're never quite fine, you're always carrying stuff, but this is one that I'm in a different frame of mind for, so I hope that the listeners enjoy it.
Okay, lovely. Well, we're going to play it now.
Let's go.
Just great songs on Radio Tamworth.
Wow.
There we go.
What a track.
See, I talk the talk, but I'm glad you agreed that I walk the walk as well.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely brilliant. Very touching, isn't it? The lyrics in there are very, very touching. So you've just said you're not trained in mental health. You've just got life experience. But if there's anyone out there that's potentially struggling in a stressful life at the moment, maybe slumped into a bit of depression, can't find a way out, lost somebody in their life, potentially lost a job, a relationship, do you have any words of advice? Like you've said, you've got such life experience. Do you have words of advice for anybody who's in a bit of a dark place at the moment?
I just want to say to people, like, it's quite a cliche thing to say, but for every dark night there is a brighter day. Like, genuinely, you know, the thoughts and feelings that you have now may not be the thoughts and feelings that you have tomorrow, and there is no shame in taking that step and getting the help. It paid off tenfold to me, and I'm not saying that it'll pay off to a lot of different people. You know, a lot of people have far more like different struggles, and your kind of circumstances and the trauma or the mental health that you're going through, do not ever compare it to other people, because everyone is so different. I was that person that used to say, well, what have I got to complain about? I've got this, whereas someone else over there has got less than me. But that doesn't make it okay that you feel the way you do. But there is no shame in getting help whatsoever.
Definitely not.
There is services, you know, there might be long waits, there might be backlogs, but just ride it out, because what have you got to lose? Try that, because the counselling worked for me, and I can't sing the counsellor's praises enough, because the way kind of the childhood trauma worked for me was I grew up with a lot of anger towards my father, but I could never, because I have nothing to do with the man and haven't done for many, many years, I could never tell him this.
Yeah.
So it affected me as a husband, it affected me as a father, and as just a figure. But to be honest with you, now the counselling kind of put everything into perspective, and it made me, I mean, please be aware that when you do this counselling, you have got to expect to lay all your skeletons out, the ones that you've tucked deeply away. And the counselling gave me the opportunity to put them all out on the table, which was hard in itself, because you had to relive a lot of moments that you tucked away. But it gave me a sense of what I could control as a child and what I couldn't control. And believe me, Nikki, there was 98% of it that, as a little boy,
you can't
none of it
control.
I couldn't control his actions.
I suppose it gives you some kind of closure, being able to do that as well, doesn't it?
But you must be aware that when you do go to this counselling, do not hold anything back, lay everything on the table, because it could be the best thing you ever go to.
The Fugees, from the album The Score, 1996.
Long time ago now.
Can you believe that?
Wow.
So long. Does it make you feel old?
Just a little bit, even.
We've still got Dribbz in the studio.
Hey.
Yes, we've just all been talking about music then, and reliving our youth of buying album. Well, what was you saying? Getting your mum to buy your album?
Get my mum to buy the album from Woolworths on tape, because it had that little parental advice that, you know, I wasn't quite old enough to get. So big up my mum for that.
Love it. You've been talking about you've got some gigs coming up. Is it this weekend?
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about them.
So this coming Saturday, I've been invited to two Telford fun days. Now, when I say fun days, they're fun as in they're family-based orientated events, but they are in remembrance of two special, brave little warriors that passed away of illnesses. So the first one I've got is at the Donington Sports and Social Club in Telford, and that's they do a event for remembering Khalil, and Khalil was a brave young warrior, is what I call him, because that's the only word for him, you know, a brave young warrior that lost his fight. And this is in conjunction with blood cancer. Okay. So it's Race for Blood Cancer. It's a charity that's they try to sign as many people as they can, and effectively the thousands that they've signed, over 100 of them have gone on to save people's lives. So I mean, how powerful is that?
Yeah.
So I'm doing the one fun day, and then that's 2 till 3. I've got a little hour break just to get myself to the next venue, and the next venue is for the same reasons. It's a family fun day. That's at the Horseshoes Inn in Ketley. Again, fun, but the reasons behind it are quite sad.
Yes.
This was going to be to raise money for a brave little warrior called Caden. It was for him to have treatment. Now, unfortunately, in the time of planning the event, Caden actually lost his life. So this is more, we weren't sure if it was going to go ahead, but the family wanted it to go ahead, and this is more raising money for different things for the family, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, 2 very important events, and
very
to be honest with you, any booking that I get, I never take them lightly. They're all very special to me for very different circumstances. Yeah,
no, I bet. And is there other things you wanted to talk about that we haven't spoke about yet?
Yeah, so I performed last week at Recover Fest, which is at Utoxeter Racecourse.
Okay.
Once a year they hold this. I want to send a massive shout out to the Detox Factor, and they are a collective group which are based in Stafford, and they do amazing things with sobriety and people on the road to recovery. They support them. They've got a hub, and within that hub they've got recording studios and various different talking places that people can kind of go to, a lot like the hub downstairs that you've mentioned.
Yes,
doing amazing things like that, but all aimed at alcohol, drugs, and the road to recovery. Now, once a year they hold this Recover Fest, and they get many different artists to come together, and they invite all these people that are on all these different journeys to come together and just celebrate how far they've come. And it was amazing. It really was amazing. There's some venues I'll go and I'll do my lyrics, and sometimes they don't get digested as well as I would want them to, but this place was the perfect place to do it. Everyone seemed to be hanging off every lyric, and it was so good. I literally felt so honoured to be performing there, not the other way around, because just looking around the room and seeing all these different people with their families, and each one of them had a story to tell of how far they come.
All on their own journeys.
So sending a massive shout out to the Detox Factor and Recover Fest, because honestly that was something special. And if you do see that around, guys, please head to it next year, because you don't have to be in recovery to come to it. It's a pure family based service. So
that sounds incredible. Brilliant. Right, we're going to come back for a bit more of a chat, but first of all we're going to play another one of your songs. ADHD. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So I'm a bit of a late bloomer with the ADHD diagnosis, but was always seen as a daydreamer, as a bit of a problem child back in school and whatnot, and it only came when I started getting a bit more mature and getting more of an understanding about myself. I got diagnosed with ADHD, severe ADHD in fact, which basically made a lot of sense with me in my brain. Now, whilst I was in the waiting list to be assessed, because this can be a long time.
Oh gosh, yeah, I've heard.
A long time. I wrote this track, and this one I've had a lot of people relate to it, mainly obviously people that have been diagnosed with ADHD, but also people that can't really quite understand their brain and why they do certain things. So this one is for anyone that's a little bit unsure to why they do certain things and are still trying to find out themselves as a person, as an individual in society. So yeah, this one's called ADHD. It features Witto, which is the same lad that sang Be Fine on the previous track. Yeah, let's give it a play, see what you think.
Wow. What? I love that.
Fantastic, thank you so much.
Honestly, that will touch there's so many people in the world that are potentially struggling and not understanding their own mind, and the lyrics in that could help so many people, couldn't it?
There's proof in the pudding, Nikki. Like, I've had people since that Recover Fest, mainly like performing that track, I've had people that have said, like, I've came to the festival not knowing who you are, you've stepped on stage and you've spoke to my soul. I feel like you're speaking directly to me. And
there's so many people that would feel exactly the same as what you're talking about,
Nikki.
In there.
This is always my intention. Yes, okay, it helps for me, I can get stuff off my chest, but I write these things with the intention of other people relating to them. These aren't disposable lyrics. These are lyrics that are genuinely based from my heart.
Do you know what I'm glad I've done?
What's that?
Not listened to these tracks before this show. I wanted to hear them fresh for the very first time.
Well,
the same time,
then,
and the same time as everybody else. But that is incredible. If people want to find you and follow your journey and find out a little bit more about you, get your music, download your music, tell everybody all the details.
Okay, so all good streaming platforms. I'm about, so just search Dribbz, DRIBBZ on Amazon, Spotify Music, all of the good streaming outlets. I'm on there. So YouTube, it's Dribbz Talks, so that's my podcast channel. Within that podcast channel, you will also find playlists with music videos on, my BBC Radio appearances, the interviews with introducing. There's a lot of stuff. You'll never be short of finding me. Just search Dribbz on pretty much anything: YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, the lot.
All the socials.
I'm very, very active. You've got to move with the times, Nikki. And this is the way it's moving, isn't it?
It is. It's great.
Keep up with it,
Dribbz, it has been a pleasure having you in the studio with me tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for coming in, and everybody, you need to be downloading these tracks. You need to be following Dribbz. Make sure you do. Thank you so much.
Can I say one more thing, Nikki?
Of course,
is that okay? Is that
yeah.
Right? So my brand new album right now, Pieces of Me, that's available in HMV in Telford. I'm looking to get it in more stores, but at the moment it's in HMV in Telford, which is quite a proud moment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's amazing.
Like, walking in there and seeing that.
Yeah.
It's a very proud moment, and a proud moment for my kids. Although they'd never admit it.
Of course.
Because my eldest is 17, almost 17. And
never
it's
admit that
cool
proud.
that dad raps.
No.
It ain't cool. Whereas my youngest daughter, Evie, which has been on the chat,
yeah,
she's my biggest fan. She knows every lyric to all of my songs, and I do this for them. It sounds maybe a bit cheesy, Nikki. But for me, when I'm gone from this world, Nikki, all they'll have left is dad's music. You know, some people have photographs.
Legacy, isn't it?
This is my legacy.
Yeah.
And this album, Pieces of Me, there's 16 tracks of some of my finest work, and each track is like an episode of dad's life. And I like to think that one day when I'm long gone, my kids will be able to press play on my music, and they'll be able to feel every lyric and understand different scenarios that dad came from to make him who he was today.
I love that. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
It's been amazing. Incredible.
There we go.
Loved that.
Oh, yeah, that was brilliant. That was so good. Yeah.